something that this only works as well as the data that we put in it. So if you need stuff put in here, if you want details put in here, I suggest putting it in, because the more information we have, the better. Because the more that we can see how these properties work and what's going on with them, the more, it also eliminates that every time you sit down and go, by the way, what's up with, So instead of having Joe go, I don't have that in front of me right now, we just pull this up and you can flip to the tab and find it. So.
If you look what Chris was doing, if you look on the bottom, that's where you go to the categories. We didn't want to put it all on one spreadsheet. So now I can't see it, but what did you click on here, Chris? I'm sorry.
Bottom is top for ordinances, speech, legal, infrastructure, redevelopment.
So why don't you go back and let's just go through the highlights of someone, and then we can, answer any questions. The first one that we started off with, talked a little bit about some of the other projects. What was number one, Chris? We had Mad Hatter on there.
So that was legal.
Okay. So on legal, what are they working on? There's the architect issue, the Center Street issue, Tommy's tap room. We have that outstanding. We have the Mad Hatter issues on that. So it just keeps us like, well, and then we'll fill that in or Richard's going to fill that in as to the status of where that is. Just go to the next one quickly, or another one I can't see what that one is either. Infrastructure. We have the main sewer. That's downtown sewers need to be relined. Storm sewers need to be checked. Water main, annual water main.
But the nice thing is that this will be available to all of us on council.
Yeah, I can't see that.
So rather than trying to do the ITest here, I think you're better off to spend some time, maybe, grab an hour here and once you get access to it, kind of poke around. And if you have questions, ask. I think everybody pretty much knows how to use our spreadsheet. These new online spreadsheets have a little bit more details you may or may not be aware of. So there are things that we can add in here and change. There's like running comments. There's actually a whole comments panel off the side that you can utilize that can have like a running dialogue, almost like a threaded forum, where you can comment on a specific item and just kind of like you can see conversation going on there. There's a lot of different things on here. So, but like I said, I suggest that everybody go in and play around and literally, try and break it. And if you just keep a hold of it, and I would suggest making it copy just in case they do break it. So just kind of and then come back with any highlights or lowlights, things that you like, things that you don't like, things you would like to see, wish list items, stuff like that, and we'll try and get it up to you.
Yeah, thanks for everyone put that together. And also, it was mentioned right, but in case anybody doesn't print it out, just remember you're not going to get everything. Like the notes won't come out with it, so you have to actually go into the active worksheet.
Yeah, if you open it, one of the things
You can do that for the conference room.
Like Brian said, if you print this document out, it's pretty much a dead document from the moment you print it out. If you open it and save it to your laptop at home, it's a dead document. The link that we have, the centralized link, is a live document, meaning Sam could be in there editing it, I could be in there editing it, and Chris could be in there editing it all at the same time. We could all be in there putting different things. I don't think that will ever happen, but you can do that. So, you can see updates as they're occurring. You can see, who made what comments. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do in here that is capable of doing. This is just scratching the surface.
One other thing we need to do is develop how you prioritize, right? Because if there's 20 things, you're not going to get to them. So we agree at some point that this is the format of what moves it up, and then that maybe goes on the next workshop to be dialogue. And it's also going to identify where we might have some resource shortages, and then we can look at that and understand it, and then work towards how we can overcome those resource shortages.
Yeah, prioritization will help each of the departments that are handling these items, because they can look at it and say, okay, what's the priority one, let's get that off the list. You know, and we'll priority 10, whatever.
I think everybody did a good job on at least the first blush at this.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're all thinking of things at the same time, there's just one under legal, you know, public access plan, I mean, it's just an ongoing thing. And you all just give them, if you want something on there, or we got something, just give it to me, Chris, or Frank, and we'll get it on there for you.
So like your there's so many things that happens, you know, every time we sit in a meeting, all of a sudden something comes up, you go, oh, what's the status? We haven't heard about that one. The nice thing is before each of our meetings, or I would say probably a week before a meeting, when we're compiling these agendas, is to kind of go through this, look at it, find your pet projects, find the things that you want the updates on, bring them up, have them put on the agenda, and then we'll address them then. Rather than like Joe said, going through this item by item, this is just, we'll never get out of these meetings. But I would say like pick one or two a week, you know, get them on the agenda and see where we're at. Some of them might suggest a quick no status, which is fine. I mean, that's gonna happen. Some, you know, there might be things. And the sooner we get the sooner we get these items on the agenda or let Joe know about them, if there hasn't been an update in a while, Joe or Chris can find out what's going on with that and get that information to us rather than bringing it up in the meeting and then waiting until the next meeting to find out what the status is. It's not fair.
Sounds good, thanks, Nick, put it together, so it'll be, maybe work in progress. Right, sounds good, that was actually the second agenda item also, so we're on to number 3. And our public safety update, I see our first today. Fire chief, you're up.
July, weird slow, weird month. We only did 75 calls for service last July. We did over 120. I don't know what it is. I guess it's COVID and C-Rec being open COVID. I don't know what it is. But July was a pretty slow month. We actually decreased our response time even better. We're down to 2 minutes, 54 seconds, and that goes from the time you call 911 to the time that truck gets to your house. And we're usually on the road in about 7 seconds. Aside from that, there's nothing really going on with us right now. Obviously, we have everyone else that's going on. Still getting crushed for repairs. I did print a report today for the repairs. I'm going to go carry the state and also mail that out to you. Currently, we're getting all the high water stuff, maintenance service, so that'll be ready for always this season. I got a truck out there right now, should be done today or tomorrow. The county's doing all, do that shared service agreement, which saves a lot of money compared to using the regular fire truck vendors. Aside from that, we got really nothing going on. Just have to.
Thanks, Chief. Police chief.
Good morning, everybody. So the month of July, we had 655 calls for services. Some of the stuff that we've been doing over the past month is setting up radar details and traffic details up on the 100 block. I'm sure you guys know coming off that bridge. There's a racetrack coming off there. We got the radar detail up there. We got traffic signs up there. With some extra patrols up there. Kind of knew this was going to happen, especially with the condos right there. People cross the street coming off that bridge. I know how fast they can go coming off that bridge. So trying to help them out up there. With having a car run stationary up there for a couple hours a day. Every single day we're doing that. Okay, this is also the speed signs up there with the radar signs. We put cones at most of the crosswalks in Seabright, which, God, people love it. I mean, I should have done there, and thank you for that. A long time ago. It's such a simple thing, just went a long way. People keep stealing our cones, though. Seabright PD cones are trophies. Everybody wants one of those. So my next budget, I'm going to guys buy me more cones. If you guys want to what?
We can have you.
They're the best ones you can get.
Can we put like noxious fumes on like they do the trees?
We can do something. We can do something. I mean, I know we've seen people love those Seabright boost pumps. We do those things.
Yeah, no, people are going to see it.
But that's been working out. There's a lot of positive feedback from that. And that was just a simple thing, we just went over one day and spoke to one of our residents, and she loved it, and just kind of went from there. As you can see, just by going through town, with the parking, our 2 extra parking lots, the Dunkin' Donut one that we use for resident parking, and also our Hershey one, they're basically empty. That Dunkin' Donut parking lot has 1 truck in there right now. So, you know, I know we went through a lot that people are screaming just like parking. There is plenty of parking. I don't even know what to say. If those lots are empty right now, they're just empty. We don't need any overflow. That's just been going pretty good. Let's say someone has heard something different. I haven't.
It seems that the ones that have to pay for a full store, and we should charge to get in there.
Well, I don't are charging.
I know we can't.
Yeah,
I know we can't.
for the business parking passes.
That's slow season.
But I think we had the people, the apartment people that we always allowed to park in
Yeah,
here,
it just
that
seemed like-
that couldn't park. That was
There
the,
was a lot of complaints, Joe, as you know, and it just never seemed to come to fruition for the amount of parking lots they're not there. We did write over almost 1,200 parking tickets. We're at 186 movements. It's a pretty good number, not as high as it was last year, just because we're not seeing the mass volume as we did last year. According to John Arias, he does all the parking, and he's at the kiosk right now. We are at, we are at 464,940.25. So it's a little bit below last year, and I just really think it also it was the weather. We lost a couple of big weekends that we would have made a lot of money on. So we had a good stretch of weather coming up. I said we are just only about 2,000 below, 2,340, 115 below last year, so it's not that much off.
Did we talk about, did we change our fees this year though?
Last year we did fees. Last year.
this is the second year.
Right,
This is the second year we go.
How do our fees compare to other towns?
We're extremely conservative in our fees. We charge anyone out here. You have the ones that charge are starting at $2 an hour, most municipalities, and then on weekends they're even higher than that, $3.50 or so. So $1 during the week and $2 during the weekend is very reasonable. We're generating revenue from it, and it's paying costs for our parking program, our kiosks and things like that. And we've even seen places like Belmont now that there are no more kiosks. It's app only that they've gone to save money because of the problem with, these kiosks are a lot of work.
They're a lot of work. They're starting to get old. I've spoken to Belmar. I'd love to go down there for the end of the year and see how they do it with the app only.
Well, I was just going to suggest, as I travel, that's kind of what I see, and I'm wondering whether or not, or what the life expectancy of these kiosks are.
It's the future. Our maintenance plan for that is expensive. It's quite a bit of money.
I think the estimate 10 years when we first got it, what are we now 4 years into it?
Yeah, at least
One of the things I noticed that the problem with system transition away from the meters, kiosks, is that I noticed that a lot of kiosks don't have any QR codes on them to actually get the app. You've got a sign on how to go there and everything, but if you just put a QR code on the side of the machine, you go up there, you take a picture of it, it opens up the app store, and boom, you download the app. I know there's the one over here on the back of the machine has the QR code. But I think that's the only one that has it. I haven't seen it on any of the other machines. I mean, just something like that says pay to park, big QR. People that know how to use it will just go up, take a picture, and boom, and be out the door, whether they're sitting online. So it will help them get the ease of use on how to get that out.
And there's the other councilman, if you go to Trish's office, you see the boxes all across from, the change, the dollars that have to be counted, taken, gone over, reconciled. The ones that use our app, she gets an immediate report right on her computer.
Is there a contract in place as far as how long we have to keep the kiosks?
There are some people.
They're paid off,
Right,
right?
so
We have maintenance contracts, but that's annual maintenance contracts on them. they're ours.
I would suggest, as you're there and you're doing, that we be looking at transitioning away from that, like yesterday.
Yeah, Jeff, I know when we first did this, because again, it's now 5 years later, but we discussed at the time, because there were some places where they were doing just apps and so forth, but figured, you know, get this come around, and then, you know, within 10 years of phasing out, then we reconsider it, so.
I think, like, I think it's a rule of thumb to do that. I have a general populace, as people are starting to move more towards the digital. I mean, we still have old efforts. We've got one on council. It's still the paycheck anymore.
You can't go to Asbury, you can't go to Point Pleasant.
You can't go anywhere, so, but seriously though, yeah, I think more people are moving towards the digital, the more options we give them to actually get into the app, I think the better. I mean, it's just, you know, if something doesn't like that QR code, you know, it's really helps.
We'll make a call.
Take care of it. Yeah, it's nothing more than a couple stickers on the machine, you know?
What else I have to do? Obviously, our tickets, we've had multiple arrests. DWI, disorderly persons, assault, criminal mischief, warrants, multiple court ordinances have been given out. The concert on the beach wasn't a problem. We probably need more concerts. Probably had a lot more people, so it went pretty well. Tom did a good job with that, and he's in his office. The beaches are being patrolled because all overs are gone. They're gone.
We did drink yesterday.
Thanks.
Just the rack line though.
We were allowed to go to North Beach and South Beach now along the rack line, the high tide, and we cleaned up a lot, I imagine.
Yeah, it's the normal shells and stuff like that. But the rate was down there, and we'll start making it a couple of times a week.
You're able to get the rate down south then?
Yeah. It was either that way or we come off to Long Beach. Yeah, either way.
Other than that, we had 2 other public safety meetings during the month discussing a couple things with Jack. And I think we even made, Anderson happy over there, right? Gave your lines out in front of your house and made this guy happy over there, so I think I'm pretty good. Any questions, anything, comments?
Hey, Chief, I want to tell you about you mentioned the cones. I was going to stand up and say that the cones on the crosswalks, that's excellent for the cyclists too.
No, so something simple. But any questions? Most of our complaints we're getting at this time of year, it's the same stuff. Something about the parking ticket, somebody did that, somebody did that. But it's really minimal. And I feel like the people that are complaining downtown, the same people get the same tickets over and over again because they've got to pass on it, they don't know their car for street sweeper. It happens.
Jack, do you want to, while Chief has the floor, do you want to talk about the EMS channels, non-nature?
Maybe we'll do that. We're going to invite him into closed session for his personnel matter. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Just a quick agenda item number 4, appointing the state tax board of appraiser every year. Tim recommends a firm. This risk is slightly different. I guess the prior firm was dissolved or whatever, so I guess you're recommending the year's work. And just memorialize it.
We actually need a full appraisal on most of the state tax appeals. It's not just some comps for residential and things like that.
Is there a particular thought, I was reading the memo, is there a particular process that you're going through to identify what you want to use, or the big process, or?
We did a request for proposal, we didn't get any, so, we took, at that point, Rosser suggested Tim had somebody he would like to recommend. And so we did send him a letter with his recommendation, and we'll have a resolution Tuesday night, and it's, doesn't work.
I think the last agenda item before we go to the executive session, just the Palm County implementation grant, and it's the no cost source right, Joe, just to apply for this, and if we so worded, it just covers our resolution photos.
It's a little weird. Go ahead.
I did call them, and they said that they're not going to be doing it at all unless they get the grant. So
Oh, good.
I suspect that it will just be no cost to anybody that.
Thank you, that made a difference. The grant said that, early on it said if we don't get the grant, you have to contribute. We said, well, how much? And they said, well, we don't know, because we don't know how many towns want to participate in it. So it was kind of like, we're in, but we don't know anything. So that's it.
Does that have to do
We
with
should,
it?
we would be worth it participating if they get the grant.
Sounds good. Next up, we have a list of upcoming resolutions, notice in there. And unless I understand.
Can I explain one there? Did you pull it off or not, Chris?
Which one?
The backflow preventer.
I didn't put it on
You did not. With, just an update, on our Beach Street, Beach
here.
Way, storm sewer outfall pipe extension. We didn't know whether we have enough money for a backflow preventer or not. We need one in there because now it drains great, but when the tide's high, it comes back up. We've had a resolution on authorizing a change order to put a backflow preventer in there. We have money in our bond, but it exceeds, Chris found out, it exceeds 20% of the contract amount, so you can't do it. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to do it, and you may see it on an upcoming agenda, because we sure need one there.
Is this the Waypro route?
Yeah.
The same one we put down on
That's correct, Dave, right? Bruce Dave?
Yeah.
It's the walkway.
I think they have that one now, they installed that one on Beach Way. It's on Riverway, the Memorial Stone.
Oh, Riverway.
It was Riverway, yeah.
Well, I'll take another look at that. All right, so you'll see.
Where's the problem at?
Beachway, yes.
So that was the one that was kind of buried in the sand? Yeah.
There's a beach there, right?
There is a beach
It was a
there,
little beach, yeah.
and it had to go out another 10 or 20 feet.
Yeah, that's the problem. The old pipe was getting covered with sand, but I extended it out so that it doesn't do that.
I feel like,
That's all I have.
Thanks, John. And before we go into executive session, any any comments or questions before we wrap it up? This is the end of our public portion.
I just got one thing, I got this late yesterday, proposal for, adding lights to the basketball court and the parking lot. Parking lot light quote didn't come yet, so I'll get with you on that. That's gonna be above our bid threshold, so we're gonna have to go out and bid on that. I don't know what route we wanna go. So I had Sodens here, they highly suggest doing floodlights off the side of the building, as high as they can get it. They, do 150 watt floodlight that will get that whole basketball court area, and it'll also flood into the parking lot a little bit too. I can give you a copy of this, but we're around $3,900, something like that.
Okay.
And he's suggested don't go the cheap route of
Yeah,
Home Depot and throw a couple lights up, just do it right. So I need to get a couple other quotes on that if you want to go ahead with it, but it'll look nice. They'll sit flush on the building.
Yeah, I definitely think something to be over there, because I do see a lot more and more kids after 10 o'clock over there playing basketball and stuff. And, and another thing too, is I do notice, and not all the time, but occasionally, the lights on this building are off. The soffit lights and stuff on this building, they just turn off at a certain time.
I have to check that, they should all be on building cells.
Yeah, well, for some reason, sometimes they're on, sometimes they're off, but when they're off on this side, on both sides actually, these staircases are really dark.
Okay.
And they're still even dark when they're on, but at least when they're on, you're getting sunlight over there, and when they're off, it's really dark over there.
Yeah, I'll look into that for some curious about that, so.
So they, I mean, at least we get sunlight over there, so at least they stay on all the time, people aren't on, so we got to come down the stairs or the ramp or anything.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Question you mentioned, perhaps I go off the bid, so the bid threshold, do we have?
We do not.
We do not, it's 17.5.
We have, the personnel committee's gonna hear about that soon, Councilman Lexi talks about it, so.
Do you have somebody that's lined up to get that?
But we have a couple people that have, going for their license.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I had asked, whether or not, because, Sean mentioned or talked about bid threshold in this particular project. So I asked whether or not we had, a QPA, here. We've been hearing a couple folks who are close.
Yep.
So that allows us to be able to.
That will bring us up to
41.5?
40, it'll bring us up to 44,000. Right now, we're at 17,500.
44. What you have the PPA, you have 44.
That will help.
Alleviate a lot of the stress that we have with a lot of these projects, rather than have to put everything out for bid, we can kind of go.
Just go back to get your quotes.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. I've got nothing else for the public, so I guess we'll go ahead and make the motion to enter to the closed session.
Second.
Councilmember Birdsall,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Alano,
Yes.
Bueller.
Yes.
Yes.